But hello, everybody, and welcome to WebDM Plays The Dark Eye Adventures in Aventuria. Um, we just had our little recap here where a lot of stuff happened last week, and I'm really keen to get back into it straight away as Geraint and Ortlieb are researching in the Temple of Hasinde, and Tariq has just arrived with two deep in the bowels of the temple, joining a cult who actually turned out to be really just pleasant people. They threw him a party and everything. Like, he had a really nice time.
Food, right? Yeah, there was food and stuff.
There was food, there was alcohol. Like, it was a great place. But so I believe Geraint and Ortlieb did fill in Tariq a little bit on what was happening when we last spoke to them. And I'm really keen as to
what was happening for us.
So for what you know is that the Temple of Hasinde, there are like two sects, two factions within this temple. One is very keen on spreading knowledge and making sure that everybody knows everything. You know, like that's the only way to elevate civilization, elevate people, is to spread and share knowledge. Another sect is very keen on being very separatist and hoarding that knowledge. To them, knowledge is power, and they do not want to relinquish that power. And that's basically what you folks found out in the temple from speaking to the priest and through your research. And you also discovered, when you were digging through myths and legends, this myth of an ancient great serpent that was to consume the world. Right. And you thought perhaps this was what the cult of the Adder were.
Yeah, I think we read something about the great serpent needs tributes, and so we linked to the fact that the people were like taking tributes to that. I think
that's right. Yeah.
Oh, and the high priest knows about it, but doesn't want other people to know about it a lot because
he's kind of like let's keep it on the down low to not worry people.
Yeah.
You know, like we're trying to contain it in house at the minute. You know, that great, just brush it under the carpet. As long as no one else knows.
Hey, look, when has that ever gone wrong? Especially, in 2020. Has that happened to the world at all?
And
just don't panic. It's fine.
Wolfgang promised to tell me if his brother Max act weird in any way.
That's right. He did indeed.
So.
Yeah. So if we just don't think about it, it will be okay. So what would you three like to do? Now you have got this information. I know Geraint has a rendezvous later this evening with some suspicious people that he met in an alleyway, as you do. So basically the floor is yours right now. What would you like to do?
Have you all seen where 2 is? We should fill him in on this information. Jim, it's hard to hear you. I feel like your mic is muted.
Yeah, check and see if your input is reading.
How's that, better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good.
I thought you were just being really quiet this whole time.
No, well, I was muted just because I was muted. But here we go. All right. Yeah, we haven't seen him all day, too.
Oh, weren't you with him, Geraint?
Not after the morning. No, I was with Ortlieb.
Oh, okay. Is this something to worry about, or do we think he'll just turn up?
I thought he was with you.
You both know him better than I do. I've never broken into the fortress of his intellect.
Oh, sure. I'm gonna say if he was able to come and find us, he would.
Yes, I'm concerned.
Unable or tied up, and maybe.
I mean, I've been tied up and been not concerned.
Well, I mean, I thought that was different.
Yes, but that thing, could he be spending the day carousing, or do you? He doesn't seem like a carousing type to me, honestly.
I don't know. Mr. Maxed out carousing over here, Geraint is like, have I ever seen 2 up in the club? Like,
but where did he say he was going? We could ask around or track him down.
Did you tell us that you were going to be following Tree.
Oh yeah, did you tell he to
Nah.
me?
No,
We were-
Two was coy about it. Yeah.
Ortlieb's feelings are a little bit hurt. 'Cause he's like, Two usually tells me where he's going. I try to fix him up and show him nice places. Guess he doesn't need me anymore.
Oh, maybe he's just indulging in a vice of his that he doesn't want us to know. Like maybe he's into like.
If he
belly
said anything, it
dancing.
would have been like, I'm just going to go look around. I'm going to go see what I can find. And then he would have gone
Maybe
off
the explorer.
after,
He is an explorer. He might just be exploring the city.
Could be. I mean, he doesn't strike me as a city guy. But maybe full of surprises. I don't know.
How can we, if we don't, well, I mean, I guess the standing agreement is that we meet at the house. But, you know, if we don't know where he is, how can we find him?
I mean, should we go back to the house and wait? Maybe the priests here, they know things. Maybe the priests here know about how to find people.
Maybe. I mean, maybe we should just wait until tonight and see if he comes back.
Okay, so we should go home and continue our research there.
Yes.
I can tell you all about my lovely evening with the blacksmith.
And you can help me put the plates away. We got to unpack a bunch of stuff. This will be great.
Cool.
I'll catch up.
You'll catch up?
So
yeah.
Ortlieb and I will start heading home to our lovely new home. Yay. And don't forget the important thing about this new house is it has a separate detached bedroom for Tarek and his guests.
It does. It has your converted barn guest house thing, like an earth home thing in the back.
Not only that, but the important thing about this house and the proof that this game is set in a fantasy world is that it's affordable to a single owner without
Yes,
family
I bought it outright.
considerable debt.
Yes, I bought it outright on the same day.
Yeah.
Without an inspection or anything.
No credit checks, not a damn thing. They just went, here, have the deed. It's yours.
To be fair, you are a well-known trader in the city, so they probably know who you are.
Yeah, it's true. And I'm also stacked. Like, I'm still stacked. Still super stacked.
So as we're walking home, I'm going to regale you with the really funny, embarrassing story that happened where, like, you know, I was hooking up with Wolfgang, and then his brother walked in, and it was really funny. And so, like, I'm telling you all that fun stuff.
Ortlieb will giggle till he cries. He appreciates your story so much.
Yay! We're having a very pleasant bonding moment to the two of us.
Yes.
Maybe we buy some like street food and nibble on it as we walk home.
Absolutely. We can get some stuff from my sausage man.
Yes! Oh,
Friend the sausage man.
We learned out of character that the sausage man is in the cult, right?
I thought it was the singer man.
Oh,
It's
the
the
singer man's
singer.
in the cult, right? Not
Yes.
the sausage man. Okay, great.
Dick Van Dyke is in a
It's
cult.
snake cult. Okay, perfect.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
going to
so
name
we-
this episode. When
We
upload
buy
it.
some lovely sausage from him, and I tell you all about my sausage to this night,
Nice.
and we have a nice trip home.
Ortlieb will tell you in detail how to make sausage because he doesn't have sex ever. He's got nothing else to
Cool, lovely.
add.
We talk about food. It is also pleasant.
There you go.
Okay. So while there is a conversation full of double entendres that may indeed fly over Ortlieb's head as he chows down on his delicious wurst, we cut to two deep within the bowels of the temple. And this is like, so, you know, people have this idea in their head of like fantasy cults, right? They're all gathered in a dungeon with the cloaks up and it's like all really spooky and chanting. There was some of that, but right now it's like a business mixer where people are just kind of stood around with wine and cheese, just chatting to one another, like just being really casual. And the atmosphere here is very like light. It's almost like a social gathering than it is like a big spooky event.
Okay. One thing Two's doing, Two's going to be socializing and trying to find out who these people are, but not be too obvious about it, just cash. But I'm watching their fucking book, the one which I drew the thing in and the blood thing in. I want to know where that goes. What, like, where does that belong? And is there anyone in particular looking after it? I want to know what happens with that.
Okay, so as you're kind of just going around, you know, walking the room, doing your thing, dropping a casual like, hey, how's it going? Glad to be here. Oh, yeah, you look great. Yeah. You keep your eye on the book at all times, and it's still open on the page in which you left the drawing and the blood seal. And behind it is the person who had overseen this whole thing, the person who had cut your hand. And they appear to be like standing sentinel over it. And as the evening progresses, you can see this person switches out for another. There appears to always be someone guarding this book, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
But from time to time, people come up and they look through. They look at what you put down, and they flick through a few pages, see what other people have put down. It's almost like this is a huge reference book, or like a huge, like a visitor guest book where people leave messages and stuff. It's almost like what this is, but there is always someone there standing guard over it. But if anyone approaches, they're not being shooed away. They're invited to come look at this book.
Okay. Okay. And did the person who cut my hand, do they seem to be some sense of authority around this sort of place?
From what they were dressed in and how people sort of addressing them, as well as the person that comes to replace them, they seem to be of a higher tier in regards to social status within this group. They are treated with a bit more deference. There's a little bow that happens as people speak to them and address them.
Can you describe them again, Susie? I forgot what they looked like.
I don't believe. Did I describe them?
Oh, we might not know. Okay, cool.
No, you kept it pretty subtle, I think. It was mostly robes and okay.
Yeah, it was a whole lot of robes. But you can see that they appear to be humans, because we know there are non-humans in this world. But they're humans. The person who was there when Tu did his mark, let's say it was a woman. With tan skin, I think, because Susie makes it up off the spot. Yeah. And the person who replaces her is a man, white skin, pretty tall, pretty broad.
Okay, and the woman that cut my hand, is she still floating about?
She disappeared for a while, but she's kind of come back. She had a little rest or something.
Okay. Yeah, Tu would go up and introduce himself. He'd go up and sort of do a light bow and be like, Pamaria te wahine, thank you for being such a gracious host.
Not at all. Thank you so much for your mark. We appreciate it.
Yeah, Tu sort of bow at that and look around and say it's quite a diverse cast of characters we have here.
Well, knowledge can be gathered from all peoples, from all places. It would be foolish to only take it from one person.
I'm trying to think of how Tu would ask the question that Liam wants to ask. Does she seem to be open just to casual small talk?
Yeah, she's just chatting. She's got a little glass of wine in her hand. She's got a little hors d'oeuvre in the other. Yeah. A horsey d'oeuvre.
Tu would grab a passing hors d'oeuvre and be like, so you've been with this lot long?
Yes, since I was a small girl, honestly. My mother was devoted of Hysinde, and, well, I followed in her steps.
That's quite impressive. Where I come from, we don't have a lot of this going on. And sort of looks around.
She kind of smiles at that and she says, well, I'm sure that in your travels that you can assume that this isn't exactly a regular sort of gathering of people.
Well, cultures are always interesting with what they have. I must admit some degree of ignorance to the ways up in these parts. Back home, everything is very open and communal, and it's being part of something a bit more. Tu doesn't know the word exclusive. Secretive is quite exciting.
Well, there is aspects of that. We do appreciate the wider breadth of difficult to explain, but we believe that while knowledge is vast and can be gathered from anywhere, then not everyone should have full access to it for their own safety, of course.
Nods enthusiastically. Of course. For the sake of maintaining the security, it occurs to me I haven't actually learned. I don't know what to call you. Do you have a title?
You can just call me sister.
Works for me, sister. And like while he's talking to her too, he's like having a good look at her. His plan is like he's gonna fucking find this woman out there, and he's just trying to figure her out. He can tell.
Yeah. Give me a perception check, because I mean, you know, as much as people try to hide who they are, there's a lot about a person's appearance that will give away who they are.
Yeah, although I just want to remind you of my disadvantage around cultural stuff, so I might be a bit ignorant on some of it, but I'll give it a go. Okay. It's not good. Hold on. So, nah, I failed that.
Okay.
Well, that sagacity fucked me on that one.
Sagacity. So you're trying to, you know, scope her out as you're chatting to her. You know, you're looking for any sort of tells, anything that she's doing with her body language, or even like things that you can see, like, because, you know, robes be flowy, you can kind of see beneath a little bit. You can't really divine exactly who she is, but there's something about how she speaks, how she's holding herself, and you can see like from the quality of the clothing beneath, you know, like she's got like a little silk shirt poking out. She's clearly someone of the sort of higher social classes, and she's got that very slow sort of calculated speech that, you know, those born into nobility have, you know, when they've been trained to like just be really level.
Does she seem to have a sense of authority around her, like she's used to being in charge?
Definitely seems that way. There's something about her, like the way she stands, the way she presents herself. You know, she's kind of got that really confident, shoulders back, sort of like high chin body language about her.
Okay. All right. Well, two would indulge in small talk a wee bit longer, then chase some hors d'oeuvres over towards the book.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, you know, in the way you get people that stop you and like welcome you in, and there's a couple of people that you can tell are really curious about who you are, where you've come from, particularly your tattoos. But right now they're kind of engaging in that really low level small talk when you know someone wants to ask you, you know, they've got a question, but they're holding it back.
Yeah. Now, Two's used to being the exotic curiosity in the room. So I think he'll revel in that a wee bit, but not tell any of them fucking anything. He'd reference stuff at home, but
right? Knowledge has to be safeguarded for their own safety, right?
He'll cock tease them all to hell with his exotic backstory that he's not going to indulge, but he's implying is there.
Hell yeah. But yeah, so you sort of skirt your way around, you're chasing this plate of hors d'oeuvres that's coming past, and you sort of come back to the book. And you see the big tall dude, he's wearing robes again. Just assume everyone's wearing robes here. And he's kind of stood, just arms crossed, just watching it. He's not looking hostile, but he's just, you know, making his presence known.
Okay. Two can't read. So he's just gonna look through the book, and he's just gonna trace his finger over stuff that's in there, seemingly interested in all of it. But at least his pictures, he's just looking at a bunch of scribbles. While he is turning the pages, he might slightly try and get a feel for how heavy the book would be if he had to do a runner with it at some future session.
Wow, that's wild.
Okay, so you sort of thumb the pages, and you can see here that in this book there's writing from all sorts of languages in sort of, the sort of Roman script that we're familiar with, to Arabic script, to things that look like, characters that you've maybe never even seen before, but he's clearly writing. We've got left to right, right to left, up and down, like it's from everywhere. Some of these pages do include drawings. Some include pictograms, diagrams that people have put in. And you see a couple, one page in particular looks to have been written in a very fine hand. And this is in a script written right to left, and it's very flowy and beautiful with like big curves and accents written on it. And stamped in the corner looks to be a city seal. It looks impressive. It's like gold, and it's embossed, and you can run your fingers over it. I can describe it for you if you like.
Please do.
This appears to be from what you can only imagine to be a castle or a palace. It is a sort of flat building in the middle with a great dome atop with two towers flanking either side, two thin towers. Up above is a crescent moon. But the crescent is sort of like horizontal. It's like one of these dealies. Like a smile rather than that way.
Okay. I just remembered that too has a negative trait, curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to look at this at great length, and he's going to look up at the sentinel.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, "Ah, kia ora, hoa. What's this?" And he points at the picture.
And the guy, he's kind of zoned out for a second. And as you say, oh, what's this? He kind of like, you see him sort of zone back in. And he goes, "Oh, sorry, that." And then he kind of leans over and squints. That is he's kind of like squinting at it a bit more. He kind of does the turny head bit, and he comes around to stand next to you so you can get a better look of it. He goes, "Oh yeah, that's the seal of Zorgan."
Zorgan?
Hmm.
Has Two heard of Zorgan? Does he know what Zorgan is?
I don't know. How likely is it that he's heard of it? It is. See if there's a roll for this. Geography?
Geography?
Yeah.
No, I can't pass that.
It's two sagacities.
Yeah, nah, he's not. Yeah, okay. He goes, "Oh yeah, where's that?"
The guy says, "Oh, it's the in the what is it called? The Maharanya Aranya, far out east."
Okay. Two nods and pretends he knows what that means. And
you can see you're confused. He's like, "It's fucking hot, mate. It's a hot place, deserty,
All right. Yeah, it's hot where I come from too. Okay. Which one of these pages is yours? Or is that rude to ask?
And he kind of laughs a bit, like he's got a chuckle, and he's like, "It is a little bit rude to ask." Yeah, you kind of. It's one of those things, right? Once it's done, and we don't.
But everyone knows which one's mine, and he points at his face, which is the.
And he sort of like, he smiles a bit and shrugs, and he says, "Flip back a couple."
He flips back a couple. All right.
And there's a diagram of like a wrestling maneuver, like a chokehold.
Ooh. You like learn that and teach me so I can use that with the blacksmith later. Just saying, okay.
If you're at all familiar with mixed martial arts, it's kind of like a triangle choke.
Yes.
Where the arm goes across like that. He was like, "That's mine."
Oh, that's pretty cool. Two's into rugged fighting. It's one of his things. So he'd talk to him about that, but like, "Oh, where'd you learn that one? Yeah, who are you?" Stuff, sort of thing.
He says, "Look, we don't like use names here, but I was a pretty famous pit fighter."
was. Once you're famous, you're always famous, Ahoa.
I mean, yeah, I was until I got caught cheating.
Is there ever really rules in a fight, though?
There's some rules, you know, you're not allowed to do eye gouging.
It just sounds like it's the uppers trying to stop you from getting what's yours.
I mean, yeah, I mean, in fairness, they put me up against a man I've hated since I was about 3 years old. So what was I supposed to do, you know?
That's it. You got to uphold your mana, Ahoa. You got to do it. Yeah.
So I did.
Yeah. Two likes this guy. When we kill the cult, this guy lives. All right. Unless Two's blind, in which case kill him.
Look, as long as I can, you know, break into the fortress of his intellect.
Two's like, okay, a bit of a group here, cage fighters and lords and ladies, and man, this
Street singers.
Yeah, well,
Two
I mean,
doesn't
you know,
know that.
that's the plus side, isn't it? Like they, any other place would look down on someone like me being here, but I'm just as good as she is, just as good as he is, as good as they are.
Are you though? Like, no offense, but that one over there, and he points at the lady, her robes are pretty, you know, nice.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a structure, right? And an order, because you gotta have a structure, because otherwise it's just pure unfettered fucking chaos. But when it comes down to it, any information I've got is just as important as hers. Any information she's got is just as important as mine. It gets shared and respected as equally as each other. You know, she can give out orders. That's fine. I mean, I've got some people under me I can give orders to, but.
Okay. So we're all equal except for those of us who aren't.
Yeah, I suppose we're not really that equal, are we?
You know, when it comes, you know, one day we'll all be the same, I guess.
Maybe. I mean, we're all the same when we're dead, right?
That's it. You know.
Do you want a drink?
Yes, I do. Please.
He's like, "What are you drinking, mate?" You know, down at the pub is.
Two would hold up a glass of what he doesn't know what it is. He's just like one of these.
Yeah, right. He comes back. He gets you one of them. I imagine it's like a sort of semi-sweetened wine. Like a wine with a honeyed wine. There we go. That sounds fantasy-ish. A honeyed wine he brings back for you. He's got a big like mug of frothing ale. And he's like, so, I mean, you're definitely not from around here. Where are you from? You don't mind me asking. He's like, no, wait, I didn't mean it to come across like that. And he's like doing that whole like, mate, no, I didn't mean it like that. But you know, like, how did you end up here?
Oh, I've been traveling for a wee while.
Yeah.
I grew up in a pretty small little village, and I decided, you know, like you've got the fellas over the border, they keep come taking our people as slaves, and I thought, you know what, fuck that. And I wanted to gain knowledge. I wanted to go travel the world and learn. And then, you know, one thing led to another. Ended up here, of all places, and now ended up here, of all places. Just following this.
Well, shit, you wanted to learn, you've come to the right place.
That's it. You know, where I come from, you learn everything from the master. So here we are.
Fuck that. And he's like, he holds up like his drink and like a little like cheers to you, and like, you know, he does a cheer to the new guy, and a couple of people around you like, you know, celebrate.
Yeah. Two's all for that. And actually, this is an opportunity. Two will start I want to start telling some of my stories from my travels. I have natural orator, so I'm down to try and see if I can do this. I failed last time horribly. I rolled on this roll, but I want to like basically try and impress them with my travels and my tales. but I'm going to be very specific to not include anything that includes the rest of our current party. So no mention of traveling with Orleeb or Tariq or anything that's happened in the last couple of weeks.
Cool,
I don't
cool,
know.
cool.
Do I need to roll for that? Or is it just a yarn? Or...
I'm not sure how that particular one works.
Yeah, neither.
If you go the in the software, if you click on the eye, it tends to have a lot of information.
I think Great Orator just gives you a bonus to
Okay.
Let me have a look on Natural Orator, or whatever it's called. What is it called? I'll find it. Natural Orator.
I want the upgrade of that to be Unnatural Orator.
168. That's my little book. I got it. Natural Orator. Skill checks using persuasion, oration receive a bonus of 1.
Okay. So it's a persuasion roll?
Yep.
Okay, I'm not great at this, but I'll give it a go. Give it a hoon. Oh, yeah, no, I smashed that. That's I get 5, so quality level is 2.
Very nice. Okay, so you have their like complete attention for like a good long while as you're telling these stories. And I think you keep things vague enough to not give anything really away, but detailed enough to keep their attention, right? You've got like these really cool tales of your travels, fascinating things you've seen and done in the many, many miles that you have traveled. And yeah, they from what you can gather, the folks around you are like, they've really sold on you being one of them. From what you can gather, there's no sort of suspicious, like anyone looking or whispering to one another. Everyone's just kind of like, yeah, woo. This is apparently an extremely easy cult to infiltrate, but 2 has nailed it.
Awesome.
Cool. But as your sort of tales start winding down, the rest of the evening is kind of winding down and people are making their excuses and beginning to filter out. You can tell though they are staggering how they leave. So it's not just a pile of people piling out at once. And you see 1 or 2 people head to like a wall that looks completely closed, but they like press a brick and that opens up a doorway. And you think maybe that leads to somewhere else in the city.
Okay. When a group heads that... Okay. There's a part of me that wants to follow the rich lady, but I think that can be a job for another day. When a group does head towards that entrance that I don't know, I haven't been through previously, I'm keen to go where that one goes.
Okay.
Just so I know that the egress and ingresses for inevitably when two sneaks in and steals the book and rips his page out.
Which would be the very smart thing to do. You get the idea that this book is carryable. It's a big book. It's going to be heavy, but you would be able to lift it. Especially with 2 being like the way the build he has. Sentences are hard today.
Tell me about it.
So your pal, the ex-pit fighter, is actually, he's all like, oh, right, I think I'm going to call it, doing the slow getting up out of the pub kind of 3-hour goodbye that some people do at pubs. And he sort of wanders over to one of these exits and you can come with him if you like. He's like, you're coming?
Tag along with the group. Just go with the group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you are led through what looks like sewers or even catacombs, but it's like semi-flooded. There are sections where you can just see are completely underwater, and there's a big channel down the middle which looks to be about 2 feet deep, waterish. They've built like a little catwalk above it, but you kind of, if you're taller than like 6 foot, you have to kind of like huddle a little bit as the space is a bit of a premium. And your mate, the pit fighter, is like, he like turns to you and he's got that like sort of couple of drinks in, sort of cheeky look in his eyes, like, you know what to say about these tunnels, right?
Nope. No, I don't. I'm new to town, remember?
Oh yeah, shit. Oh, so they say they're haunted. And if you're alone down here, and you're all alone, no one around, and it's dark and it's quiet, sometimes you can hear the screams.
Okay, so 2 is superstitious. So he's like, okay, yeah, hold on, let's go, come on.
And he's pissing himself as he walks. He's like, oh, it's all right, man, I'm just fucking with you. Oh, shit. And he leads you through like a series of, they're like winding tunnels, and you can see like this is clearly semi-catacombs, semi-sewer system. And as you get closer to the surface, you can definitely tell this is the sewer system. The smell here is unpleasant. But before long, there's a sort of wide, like big gate with a big screeny gatey bit on it, like looks like a portcullis, and it's pushed ever so slightly aside so you can squeeze out.
Awesome. I just want to make a quick note. I have 2 advantages here I want to make use of while I mentally map this place. I've got direction sense, so I always know what the cardinal directions are, and I have inner clock, so I know how long it's taken us to traverse. So mentally, I've been timing, and I'm trying to do the whole prison breakout thing, but they're opposite to break back in at some.
I love that. You don't know a lot about academic geography. You know a ton about practical geography.
Yeah, I've tried to make him completely like, you know, like with only naturally useful skills, not really academic stuff. Yeah, okay. So I've just been trying to, as close as I can, try and remember the path. Obviously it won't be perfect, but and then come out of the sewer and then make a big show of being like, whew, glad to be out of that party, you know.
Yeah, and this guy, he's toasty, so he's like laughing along, he's like slapping you on the back, you know, doing bloke stuff. And he's like, all right, this is where I've got to leave you, I'm afraid. We can't be seen together. But it was great meeting you.
Yeah, no, 2 sort of shakes his head or whatever, slaps him on the back.
Yeah.
I'm assuming at this point we're taking off our green.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot to mention the robes are left in the sort of in the cult zone.
Okay, right.
Yeah, they don't drag through the semi-flooded sewers.
Because that's just a recipe for it.
All good. Two having had a few is not going to try and follow this guy, because if he gets caught, I don't want to get triangle choked. Having been triangle choked in real life, not in a hurry to do it.
No, it's not fun.
So I'm just gonna
I wonder how drunkenly will like it.
Drunkenly meander back towards All Leaves' new house.
Okay. As you do so, you can see you sort of make your way through this sort of town square, and you can see someone who looks a lot like
Sorry, and when I do it, I'm going to try and do it in a way so if I don't want to lead a tail back there.
Gotcha.
Following me, so I want to try and make sure I'm not being followed.
Okay, cool. All right, then let's have a stealth, I guess.
Okay.
If you're being semi sort of like, you know, inconspicuous as you're moving around.
Yeah, I believe I have that. So 16 for intuition minus 2. Yeah, no, I've got that at 2 or 3 quality levels.
Okay. So you sort of, you know, you meander your way through, you know, you take unexpected turns, duck down streets, you know, you're not heading straight for the house because that would be stupid. But as you do, you pass sort of around the edge of a town square, and you can see what looks like someone who looks a lot like Gorion, seated at the edge of a fountain as the sky is beginning to, you know, it's dark out now.
So is it Gorion or does he look like Gorion?
It's Gorion.
Okay. Yeah, I'd wander across and just sort of walk up to him. What's Gorion up to? Is he paying much attention? Is he reading? What's he doing?
He's smoking his pipe and just seems to be waiting on someone. Not really doing anything other than hanging out and having a smoke.
Does Gorion read much?
He reads some, like he has almost no academic interests, and he can only read whatever it is.
Tulamedia script, right?
No, the Kusiliker signs.
Oh,
He's
okay.
not actually literate in Tulamedia.
Oh, in his native tongue. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, Garethis he's from a weird. Like, I couldn't quite get a sense for Arania and Paracum. They seem to have this very fluid.
Okay, so you're from like a region that is like has language contact or something.
Yeah, lots of language contact. So he has both. But yeah, he's just relaxing, having a smoke. Just seems to be watching people.
Well, I mean, yeah,
our
two
mini
are just
discussion about what languages do we speak and what ethnicity does that correspond to.
two would just casually walk up to him and sit down next to him. Be like, "Kia ora, how?"
Hey, how's it going? We were looking for you earlier.
Oh, you can probably tell that two's not drunk, but he's got a glow on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I thought you didn't party, man. Yeah, we ended up at the Temple of Hasende and talked to the high priest there and read a bunch of things, and my head hurts a little bit now, but it's all right.
Two doesn't know which temple the Temple of Hasende is, so even though he was at the same temple, he wouldn't put two and two together. He'd be like, yeah, I was at a temple too. Joined the cult.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
Just
I found
now?
the cult. Yeah, I found the. And he lowers his voice. Cuzzy, I found the cult of the Edda. I joined up.
No
And he looks at him real serious. Like,
no, like, just
up.
how do you know it was them?
Because I just knew. I followed Tariq, and he was getting his fuck on, and then I seen the fella who was following I don't know, but the fella turned up at his house, and he looked a bit dodgy. He had a tattoo or a snake on his back. Followed him. One thing led to another. I'm in the cult.
And just like that.
Yeah, real easy cult to join. Real nice too. Lots of food.
What are they on about?
They're it's about knowledge or something. They just want to know everything. Know-it-alls.
Know-it-alls.
Yeah, like a less sexy version of Tariq.
The word green.
I'm so happy that you have acknowledged that the less sexy version is very important.
Yeah, green robes. I got one. They took it off me when I was leaving. I joined up. He holds his hand out, showing the cut on it, which would probably be bandaged, but there's.
Yeah, I don't know anything about bandaging it, but joined up and you had to sign your name and give them blood?
Yeah, something like that. It's in a book. They got a book full of stuff.
Oh, that sounds bad. I don't know anything about it, but that sounds bad too. No, you seem concerned.
Yeah, two's not too worried yet.
All right. Maybe we have the wrong impression about them. All right. Well, yeah, everybody else, Tariq and Ortley, were back at the place waiting on you.
We're busy cooking at this literal moment. We're like cooking up something really tasty.
Making sausages.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. The whole house is covered in sausages.
And I'm like, and we're like, we're continuing our gossip. So maybe Ortley is telling me like fun stories from his travels. And I'm like, well, one time I broke into the fortress of the mind of this person and I learned this thing. Isn't that cool? And just random stuff like that.
Ortley was drunk and he's just laughing at the whole thing. It's
We're
a housewarming.
Really nice evening.
Great time in our new house. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, I mean, you're welcome to join me here. I'm meeting with some, I don't know, hopefully some people that know what's going on the streets. But it's only if you feel like talking to children that live on the streets.
I've spoken to everybody else at this point. I may as well.
Yeah. Well, I guess Ryan's going to start looking around. I don't remember her name. I don't know that she gave one.
I don't think she did.
I don't think so.
But as you know,
NPCs in this world aren't big on giving names out, I've learned.
and that's definitely NPCs and not Susie being really bad with names. So after a little while of Tu and Gorion kind of just sitting there and looking around, Gorion, you spot sort of a very thin looking person step out of the shadows. He's kind of got lank hair around his ears as he kind of steps forward. He's wearing just like simple clothing, nice little shirt, little jacket. And he does the classic shifty look around before he gives you the psst, psst.
This guy over here. All right. He'll just, give to a little slap on the chest. You ready to go?
All
right. He'll walk over to where this kid is. Now, this kid's like trying to lead us down a dark alley at night. Yeah.
Yeah. This is like this appears to be, as you saw it on the edge, you think it was like a kid because it's kind of short and thin. But as you get closer, it appears to be like a fully grown dude. He's just quite short and wiry. You can see like his face is quite aged. He's definitely Fagin. And he's sort of like not necessarily down a dark alley, but just in a quiet a bit. It's not quite so public.
Okay. All right. Are they bringing like a lantern or something with us? Because I ask because Gorion is night blind. And, and so
I would imagine though that then Gorion probably makes it on his own. He always has something, right?
He does actually. He has candles and the like in just his day bag, out in the city bag. He's got that. He might light one from his pipe.
Okay, cool. And there's like a little windowsill you could put it on to give you that sort of light. And the guy sort of comes around, so his body is shielding it from the town square. So it's lighting him and you can see him, but it's not casting an obvious glow into the town square. You kind of get the idea from the way this guy moves and holds his body. He kind of knows what he's doing with regards to concealment, especially at nighttime in a city. His clothing is like dark. And he's not got like a bright white shirt or anything that would give him away, And he says to you, I understand that you wanted to talk to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what her name was. She's tall, muscular, real cocky.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like Sasha. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm new in town. And I don't know a lot about, what goes on in Havina, but I'm here looking for some folk. We new strangers in town, not from around here. Perhaps they have a tattoo of a snake somewhere on them.
You after the snake lot?
I suppose so. Depends on which snakes we're talking about. An adder? Seen that?
Oh, I've heard of him. Yeah, I've heard of him.
Know anything about it?
Might do. The thing is, it's a tough city, Havana. Really tough city. And, I've got children to feed. So, that information and stuff like that don't come cheap.
Certainly. Gorion will take one of his silver rings off, and one of the bigger ones, and put it in the kid's or the guy's hand.
That'll do very well. Look, I've got little eyes and ears all over this town, all over this city. I know what's going on. I saw your mate there, and he points at Tu. Go with him.
Yeah, he's not actually gonna say Tu because he didn't know this kid. Yeah, he does his own thing. I trust him.
Well, maybe you look like a capable bloke. Look at you. I mean, you've got a big fucking sword and a lot of it. Maybe you can help me out, actually. Maybe we can go into business together.
Is that a fact? Well, I should warn you that I'm a terrible, terrible businessman.
Well, so am I. You see these adder lot, and he's like looking around. Again, really bad for my business. couple of days ago, one of my kids turned up dead. And I knew they did it. Must have been poking his nose in where they didn't want it. It's really hard to operate a thieves guild, and someone that operates on intelligence.
Certainly.
When there's a group in town that are trying to steal all the intelligence, you know what I mean?
Certainly. So you're looking to protect your assets, as it were.
That's it.
All right. Well, they've been poking around anywhere else?
Where aren't they poking around? They're in the upper echelons. They're in the nobility. They're in merchants, farmers, fucking lumberjacks.
You mean fucking the blacksmith?
The lumberjacks? The
Yeah,
Timberers Guild? He's everywhere.
Everywhere. And from what I gather,
Even
speaking
a
to my
town called
brother
Zog
in-
or Zog or something. It's fucking hot.
What's that?
he's organ.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, I know where Zorgan's at. Yeah, I've been there
Yeah.
a few times.
They're there and all. They're everywhere.
It's hot.
Yeah, it is hot there. Yeah.
Basically,
humid
they're
as
all
here,
over the
though.
fucking place. And it's coming bad for business for myself and my brothers.
Yeah, I can see that. It's bad for business for a lot of folk, I take it.
Yeah.
All right. Do you know where their, well, I guess we know where their main meeting place is, but you know any others? Is it just the one?
I mean, they meet wherever, but the one underneath the Temple of Asinde is the main one.
Okay.
They're in the catacombs below the city, from what I gather. Don't send the kids in there. They're haunted. Yeah.
I mean, haunted.
What do you mean? You don't know about the haunted catacombs?
No, I've just, like I said, this is my first time in Havina.
Well, fucking haunted, mate.
Well,
Cursed and all.
like, would we be cursed if we go down in there?
Maybe. You probably get your innards ripped out by a ghost or something.
I'd rather not mess with ghosts.
2 cheeks of stomach.
Did they get you?
His stomach is still in place.
Yeah.
Can we say at this exact moment, Tarek and Ortli were telling a ghost story? Like they're like trading ghost stories. I'm like, oh, so one time in the guild there was this possessed person because I tried breaking into the temple of their intellect, and there were 2 intellects. So I'm like, oh my god, what do I do here? And we're just telling ghost stories.
2 intellects at the same time. And I'll talk about how I once tried to extract some ectoplasm from a ghost in order to sell it to somebody who said that they might want it. But that it was really spooky and also slimy, and I lost a whole outfit because of it.
Oh, Tariq has gotten the fucking complete wrong end of the stick of that story. The second the word ectoplasm is mentioned, Tariq will have been gone. You just know for a fact.
So, I have a specialty in empathy for detect motivation.
Ooh.
And so I'm really, while this exchange is going on, Grind's sizing him up. Does he seem confident, jittery, just
Okay.
I mean, I'm assuming he's hiding things from me. So I'm just trying to figure out less why he would be what he's hiding than why he would be hiding it. Like, is he trying to set me up? Is he scared? That kind of thing.
Okay. Do me then an empathy check just so you can gauge this dude.
All right. So scarcity, intuition, charisma. Let's see. Ooh. So I know I got it underneath my sagacity and my intuition. I only need 2 to bring it down to get it equal to my intuition.
Very
And
nice.
It is under my charisma as well. So that gives me a 2 quality level. After I use all my points to get it down.
Quality. Frick. Quality. Yeah, you're sizing this guy up, and he's being sketchy. He's being shady. But from what you gathered, there's a very real fear in his voice, and especially when he said that one of his kids turned up dead the other day. There was a genuine upset to his voice and an anger that you could hear, just in the tone. Especially when he says, "I know that they did it." you're getting the impression that this guy is a shady motherfucker, and he is not really someone you want to put your whole trust in, but he clearly cares for the people under him, and he is genuinely worried about the interference of this cult in this town.
Grind has a soft spot for an underdog. And yeah, let's see how we can't come to some arrangement or agreement. Seems like it's mutually beneficial for the both of us.
Yeah, and like, I mean, I don't want you to get the wrong idea about like anything to do with my little group. We don't kill, we don't do anything horrible. We're just thieving little fuckers,
Sure. I don't mind personally. So seems like you'd have a real problem on your hands without somebody to take care of it for you.
Yeah.
He's going to turn the 2. I'm good with it. Did you get us back in there?
Yeah. What's in it for us, though?
That's a good question. Who's going to look at the kid?
And he kind of like puffs out his cheeks, blows, he goes, I mean, I can't pay you. I don't have much money, but you could have the full services that we provide. That's anything from creating distractions to stealing stuff to telling people stuff. We can change, get information where you need it, or things where you need them when you need them.
Yeah, that sounds like
and
something we could use.
I'll stop any of my kids from robbing you, because I know you got that little man with the big mustache with a lot of money, and the kids have been eyeing him up a lot.
Yeah. Stay away from the house out in the burbs.
Good to know.
The one with the cottage in the back.
And the
You can
cow.
tell them a
Yeah.
black maid
Cow,
lives
yeah.
there.
Unless you're invited.
So
he's offering essentially their services is like information broke.
Yeah, anything that like a low-level thieves guild could offer you. So information, currying, stealing stuff, distracting the town guards, anything like that. Like in Assassin's Creed, you could be like,
oh yeah,
go, children, attack.
Yes.
Wait, really? That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Okay. Okay. And when do these kids want this done? Is this like a now thing, or is this like a broader work up to it thing?
He kind of shrugs and says, well, Havana wasn't built in a day, right? Like, we gotta be careful, because I mean, like I said, they're everywhere. But I do know that in a few days there's the big tournament, so they're probably going to be really interested in that.
Yeah.
Tournament?
Yeah, it's the big festival one, isn't it? Because it's nearly time for the harvest.
Jousting, boxing.
Got everything. We've got jousting, there's the melee, there's archery, there's axe throwing, there's the quintillion, there's everything. Gambling.
All right. So.
Okay.
Does this?
Okay. Twos pulls Gorion aside, and he's like, I got a pretty good look at a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
Should we get this lot here? And he nods over towards the others. For some reason, whenever you put on your accent suit, you always make me nearly break into, right, okay, look. We can give this lot here a breakdown of some of the people. I pretty good idea I could find one of them myself, but the rest, if this lot find out who these people are,
yeah,
we can come. We can go also. I can get us in. I know how to get in. We don't need this lot. You gave those kids your ring for fucking nothing, mate. Frankly, but we'll if we can get them to figure out some of these people, maybe we got some angles that we can explore.
Yeah, I prefer that than just a direct.
It sounds like they'll be at this tournament. If we go to this tournament and we walk around, we'll find them. Also, quietly, they said they're going to get in touch with me about earning a mark. So maybe they'll find us. So like,
Could head back home. All right. So I needed a new ring anyway. It's fine. I'm all right.
Yeah. So yeah, like 2 would turn around to the kid and go, "If what information do you need to find out who someone is? If from me, what do I need to give you to find out who these people are?"
I mean, what they look like, what they sound like. If you know what their job is, we can find them.
Okay, chimney sweep, Dick Van Dyke style singer. I need to know who he is. I already know how to find a lumberjack guy. That's fine. Pit fighter who gouged some fella's eye out, used to be real famous. I need you to find him. And a tan skin noble lady who's really bossy and doesn't tell you fucking anything, but is super polite and has a great taste in wine. I need to find who she is.
He whips out like a little notebook, like a little policeman's notebook, and he writes these things down. He's like, "Oh, I think I've got a few ideas who some of these might be, but I'll get my kids on it, and then I'll let you know."
Especially the lady.
Yeah.
Right.
How do we find you again?
Well, he's like, "I'll give you the secret signal." And he shows you like this intricate whistle thing to do.
All right.
He says, "There's more kids all over town. One of them will hear it and they'll come get me.
All right.
If not, grab one of any of the kids, not any of them, and tell them to meet me by the fountains."
Just grab a kid by the
At any time, grab random urchin 3, and they'll be able to get the message to him.
How did the intricate whistle go?
No, it's a very intricate whistle. I can't whistle. I can. I'm just not gonna. It's fantasy. Don't make me do it, Liam. Fuck you.
All right. Okay.
All right. Yeah. I mean, sure. Okay. I guess the last thing that Grind has is, does he, do you know who it was that got one of your people?
I don't know who it was.
Okay. How'd they do him in?
Stabbed him. Made a right mess of him.
All right. That'll help. Grind's just gonna like look at everybody and like, sounds like we got a job. And head back.
Yep. All right. So you wander through the town, and it's quiet now. It's at nighttime. You pass the odd city guard that sort of like holds you up. It's like, "Where are you going? Going home? All right. Stay safe." The very typical fantasy guard. But before long, you arrive back at the house where Ortlieb and Tariq have made a lovely supper.
And we're very drunk.
And are absolutely wasted.
We were like, Ortlieb started, drinking wine while cooking, and partway through, I'm just like, "Oh, I'll have some too." And as we're like trading stories,
we invented a drinking game. Every time you say "Fortress of the Mind," Ortlieb drinks.
I love this idea that in Tula Media, that's how you refer to the mind. So I just like literally translate it into the language like Bosporano, whatever we're speaking. Garethi. I think it's being Garethi, right? And so what we have on the table, I think we have a pretty lavish feast set up. But we both are like sitting at it, just like drunk and laughing and like, ah ha ha.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm very happy to see you. We've got there's flowers on the table. Like I did this whole homecoming thing because we have a home together.
Also, where's our swords lady? Where is she living with us, or what's she gonna be doing? Did we decide?
Faria has been out during the day. She didn't really tell you where she's been, but she was out, and she sort of comes in not long before Tu and Gorion.
Okay, so I would tell her about this information that we learned as well, because she's helping us find this cult, right? So. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, well, this is what they're doing, and that's what they want to attribute." We think Ortlieb found some great information about it.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, it's very strange. I always assumed it would be something stupid, and there it is. Very stupid.
It probably is very stupid, like doing that, but it's very goal oriented.
Well, yes, I mean, you can't fault them. You know, they know what they want. They're going for it.
I mean, you can fault them for what they want.
Well, yes, and you can fault them for perhaps doing a lot of assassinations.
Have some wine. Let me tell you about the time I broke into the fortress of the mind of this one dude.
Cool. There we go. There we go.
She probably gets it though because she speaks my language. So she's like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, cool. But she's like, Tariq, you do have to promise me that you're never going to break into the fortress of my mind.
Does the past count?
Have you done it already?
Yeah, you were unconscious when we found you.
And she kind of laughs like a, oh, you scamp kind of thing. She says, but that's the first and last time you're ever going to do it to me.
Okay, fine. What if you're in like mortal danger?
If I'm in mortal danger and I'm literally hanging on to life by a thread, then maybe. But ask me first.
Okay, I will ask you, unless you're unable to answer and you're in mortal danger.
Yes. Okay. In that very extreme niche circumstance, then yes.
I'm like, okay, fine. Here, have this sausage now.
She's like, oh, this is a very good sausage. And so,
oh yeah, Ortley made it. He's really good at cooking.
I took a class one time. Thank you.
So Tu and Garen, you arrive to hear Fariha complimenting Ortley on his delicious sausage.
Yes. Ortley's giggling.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, Tu, we found you.
You're here.
We learned a lot. Here, have a sausage.
Yes.
Tu learned a lot as well.
Yeah.
Did
you?
Yeah.
Oh, where were you?
Yeah, we missed you.
Yeah, we're both very tipsy, right? So
yes,
we're very affectionate.
Thought we were gonna stick together.
Yeah, no, I had a good time. I met some new people. I went out. He doesn't mention how he got there, and then I was out, and then I seen a lead and I followed the lead, and then
a lead.
I joined the cult.
Oh, did you see someone with one of the tattoos?
You what?
Wait,
joined the
say
cult
that again.
I'm an initiate.
I'm drunk, right? So I like raise my glass. So I'm like,
yes.
woo!
I give you a bottle, and then I give you a prepared plate of sausages and mustards and things, and I give one to Garion. And I'm so you joined a cult.
Can we say, Ortley, you like made the mustard sauce yourself?
Oh yeah,
like,
it's trivially easy to make mustard. You can do that very easily.
Took the powder and like made the sauce.
He's got like several kinds that he keeps with him like all the time.
Yeah.
For different, like, pair with different
so you can
things.
fling it into someone's face in the worst case. To be like, oh.
I could, but that'd be a waste of perfectly good mustard.
True.
I've got other things to do that. I have an impressive inventory.
True.
I can
I'm
do
like,
that.
whoa, I thought I had it in sleeping with the brother of one of the cultists, but you actually joined the cult?
Yeah. Yeah.
I turned to Fariha. I'm like, look at him. He joined the cult. You're
What's
like
it
cult
like?
mates.
Do you have tattoos now? Like those tattoos? Like she's got one, right?
No, they said they'd get in touch with me how to earn that. Really easy cult to join though. Lots of drinks and food.
I've never joined a cult. How cool it is to join a cult or not.
So I know because this one time I broke into the fortress of the mind of this like one cultist. And a lot of cults, and there's some text about it as well. And I start rambling into like academic mode slightly. I'm like, well, a common technique of cult is to make it very easy and pleasant to join, so you get seduced by the like grandeur of it, and then only when you're in too deep they start making you do all the like nasty stuff.
Oh, that makes sense. So did you figure out what are they doing here? What do they want?
Well, according to them, all they want is knowledge, which strikes me as bullshit because you had to give knowledge to get in, and there was like a blood thing. But
blood thing.
Yeah,
I mean, Fariha showed us that they also wanted live townspeople as tribute.
Yeah,
we heard.
Look, I'm not saying they're a great bunch of people. I'm just saying they're hospitable. All right, there's they were very easy to join. Honestly, I followed a lumberjack. And then I watched him knock on the door. I knocked on the
Wait,
door.
you followed the lumberjack? Oh my god!
I just seen him, and I thought, that guy's in a cult. I don't
my
know
blacksmith's
why.
brother is a lumberjack. He walked in on us naked having sex.
Did he? God, that's some real voyeuristic bullshit. That
Was he a cultist too?
Oh, blacksmith is the blacksmith. Wolfgang is not a cultist, but his brother is. So I told him to keep an eye on his brother and tell me if anything fishy happens.
Why is it so just like everybody's just so casually like they're just like, oh yeah, I'm also a cultist?
I don't know if they're
How does it happen?
about it. I mean, I'm pretty casual with blacksmith, but I don't know if the cult part is like casual.
Well, like, but how did you find out that it's like you've got two lumberjacks? Do they have like a monopoly on
I
cultist
saw the
lumberjacks?
tattoo. I saw the tattoo. Oh, maybe they do have a monopoly on lumberjacks.
He earned it. Good for him.
Or bad for him.
Or bad for
We're very tipsy, right? So
Very tipsy.
Or bad for him.
Role play.
Have another sausage or at least. They're so good.
Thank you. I know.
Yeah. So I went and I got this big book full of secrets.
You got a big book full of secrets from the cult?
They do. I want to go get it though.
My eyes like gleam because I'm like, wait a minute. This is exactly what my professors would love as my practical, right? Because I'm out doing practical. So I actually said, I'm like, that would be amazing as the fruit of my like practical, like to get a big book of cult secrets back to Fazar.
Yeah, what kind of secrets? Like
wrestling moves.
Okay, that is not what they would like as much at the Black Mages Guild. Is that all that was in there?
No, there were lots of languages and writing.
Ooh, and his eyes go really wide.
Oh.
There was something from some really hot town, which my player can't remember the name of.
Zorba?
Zorgan.
Oh, Zorgon! I went there once. I was sent on a secret mission to break into the fortress of the mind of one of the rulers as part of a test. I didn't do very well. It was the first time, but I did burn his hair off.
Okay.
Well,
that was a really nice.
I love Susie's expression.
It's a big book, and I've got a page in it now.
Fariha, did you sign a book like this back in the homeland when you joined?
I did.
Do you think if we take this book from them, we can learn where your sword is and it'll like stop them from doing their horrible stuff that they're doing?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
I'm so gleeful and like super tipsy. I'm like, oh my God, you guys, we have a plan.
I want the book.
Aventuria.
Wrestling school, I can sell the moves.
Do you know where the book is when no one's at the cult hall, whatever it's called?
I don't, unfortunately. I've only ever seen it when it's presented as you've seen it, I assume.
Wait, should we all join the cult to infiltrate it and then steal the book?
It's my first cult.
I mean, I'd rather not give blood though, because that's a lot of horrible stuff can happen. So like, you need to be careful. They can like curse you a lot now.
Wait, what?
Oh, didn't they explain that to you?
No.
Well, blood is actually an excellent conduit for dark magic. You know, like there's a sympathetic, different from black magic, dark magic. There's like a sympathetic link created between the hemoglobin in your body and the hemoglobin. And I started going in a very theoretical thing about like blood quanta and like, the sympathetic links between cells and whatever. Sure. Anyway, and that all means that they can like really easily like they might even be able to break into the fortress of your intellect at a distance. That's not something I've learned yet. That's some advanced study. But you know, didn't they tell you that?
Yeah.
I tried to warn him but it was after the fact.
It doesn't work that way. Yeah.
So have a sausage too. It'll make you feel better.
Yeah, blood is also important for this kind of sausage. Here you go.
Like my arm. Yes.
We really need to get that fucking book, guys.
Oh, did you give a lot of blood? Because the more blood you give, the worse things they can do.
Only a little bit.
Oh, that's enough to do a lot of bad things. I love it. I can show you it. Oh, sorry, you can't read. I will read out to you the right passage tonight if you want, if I'm not too drunk, which I might very well be.
Two,
Yeah.
what sort of secret
Yeah.
did you give them?
He's like, my this, and he draws, he traces his fingers over his tattoos. It's just kind of my fuck up. It's like my family tree.
Me too.
Oh, love it. You both know that they can do a lot of horrible things to your entire dynasty and progeny, having both your blood and details of your family tree, right? It's actually theoretically very fascinating how the curses function.
Well, you know, at the time, I was rather okay with it.
Yeah. But this isn't a
You
common
probably want to
thing
take that
around
book
here.
back too.
Yeah. But it was convenient. I got to find out a lot. So that's why
True.
I did it. You know, like, because, hey, I'm here doing the hard mahi while you're here making sausages and getting on the terps.
Hey,
right?
they're amazing sausages.
I'm out joining
There's
cults
skill
for this group.
involved too.
They're really good sausages.
And we spent the day at the library.
Oh yeah,
Like,
speaking
no
of which,
blood needed.
that cult that you joined. Oh yeah, so we learned that they're worshiping a giant snake that they're feeding sacrifices to, which they want to release and unleash upon the world.
Yeah.
So you know, your family probably would make a good sacrifice. So we don't want that book to stay with them very long.
Yeah.
But if we get the book, isn't it gonna just make all of them like mad and on alert?
I'm assuming every cult, every regional cult has a different book. It's not just one book for all of them. He looks at Fariha.
That's a big book then.
You know, I honestly never really thought of it. I assume it's different. I mean, really, from where I'm from, it'd be a feat to have the same book in the same place, you know, across the world.
Okay.
Does that mean that there's some sort of super book where they compile all the secret books?
Maybe.
Or
I
maybe
mean,
they
as I said,
feed
they
the book to
never
the
tell us
snake.
anything. And like mushrooms, fed shit and kept in the dark.
I mean, I've done that to people. They've quite enjoyed it.
I've done that to mushrooms.
Anyway, I don't have time to unpack all of this. But so you intend to steal this book?
I think that's a great idea. And my eyes gleam again at the thought of like presenting it to my professor, being like, look what I found.
Yeah.
And I turned to Toot, I will rip out your page just for you because you don't want to get that, you know, around.
Two's quite happy doing his own page, thank you. And he'll burn it. And he does not trust you to have
Everyone trusts Tarek. He's so lovable.
I'm not the
And
only
good
one
at
that
loving.
Garion here, Garion, he's made friends. And two
Oh, what happened, Garion?
So I ran into some pickpockets this afternoon, and after
I've never been pickpocketed before. I wonder why.
wait, do you know that for a fact?
I mean, I've never had anything missing, and people tend to like give. I feel that people just don't like walking near me. Maybe my gait is really like wide.
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure. Or Lieb, I would check your pockets though, because they made you for a mark like immediately. They mentioned
I
you
bet they did.
specifically.
They can fucking bring it on. I know what I'm doing.
I once broke into the fortress of a mind of a pickpocket and made him remember the worst fear that his mom had ever had, and he swore never to be a pickpocket again. It was for a test.
All right.
No,
Okay.
I know. There have been a few cheeky kids have tried to do that before, and I can't judge a book by its cover, except for that cult secret book.
Sure.
Ooh, have
sure.
a sausage.
Very good.
There we go.
Well, I agreed to kill some of the cultists for them.
Oh, that's
because,
probably wise.
Yeah, the cultists had murdered some of their people.
Well, okay, so do we want to?
Yeah, kids. Well, street kids, urchins and the like.
Still kids.
Well, do we want to join the cult and infiltrate, or two? Did you find like a back door into their like cult chambers or something? I mean, I know all about going through the back door, so.
I don't think I want to join a cult.
No.
I'm just saying. I just don't. I'm not sure.
I can't speak for two, but the kids said that there was catacombs, although they were haunted.
No, hold on.
Ghosts.
There's two ways and I know of, and there's definitely other ways. And there's the secret knock underneath some fancy temple. and you go through the servant entrance, and then there's a secret door. And then I got let out via the catacombs, which is really just the sewers. And I was told it was haunted, then I was told it was a joke, and then the kid said it was haunted. So the balance probabilities is haunted. But I mean, I wasn't. I mean, look at me. I'm here. I'm all good. I didn't get eviscerated. So I think we're fine. What could possibly go wrong?
Susie, does Tariq know if hauntings are a real thing? And B, is it possible for places like this to be haunted, or do they have to be like really special stuff?
How about you go ahead and roll me a myths and legends?
Myths and legends. I have 6 points on that. Nice. Oh, good. It's 2 sagacities. Nice. So I should be able to do this well. 3 d20s. 15. Oh God, why do I keep rolling crits on things I'm supposed to be good at? But I have 6 points, so I can bring the 20 down, but I can't bring the other 15 down. Can I spend my last point?
Your fate point.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Did you do a crit fail?
No, it's not 220. I got 120.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. I will let you do it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna spend my last fate point. And I want to do like, what have I read? Like, ghosts, are they a thing? Would this be a likely place, or do you have to have like 10 centuries of ritual slaughter to create a ghost? You know, that kind of thing.
Okay. So through your studies and general sort of breaking into the fortress of people's minds, take a drink. You have learned that ghosts are absolutely 100% real. Specters and memories and curses linger. And you have read about Havana itself, and you know that the city is built upon the ruins of a city that was flooded out completely 350 years ago. And because of that, people have claimed that the poor people there that died in the city in that great flood have caused, their spirits linger and is super mega cursed.
And do I know, is it like possible to like defeat ghosts or stop them, or is it just something we have to like avoid or something?
You don't know of a foolproof way. You've heard of like folklore ways of defeating ghosts. It's akin to like putting garlic up near your door so vampires can't come in and stuff like that. Like if you make a certain symbol with your hands, then you'll be protected. Or if you wear a sprig of rowan in your hair, you'll be protected. Right. Stuff that people have said will protect you from ghosts.
Okay. So Ibn Hisham's Echoes of the Port Town talks about this like ancient city that was buried here, and they say they're all these ghosts. However, the text doesn't really go into any practical ghost lore. He does do a lot of oral history taking of folklore about ghosts. So I don't know if we can stop them easily, but they probably exist. His citations for the existence of the ghosts are actually very detailed. So they probably do exist, and they're probably very dangerous.
Okay. Well, I've been through there once. So you guys go next time. I'll stay here. And the guy I was with said as long as you're not alone, you're fine. And if you stick in a group, you'll be fine. Yep. You can see Two's quite uncomfortable talking about this because he's quite superstitious, and he's quite.
So what if tomorrow, not the time that they're meeting to, we should sneak through the these haunted sewers. If we're in a group, hopefully it'll be okay. We can try some of the folk charms, though I don't really trust any witchcraft magic, and I roll my eyes because like witchcraft magic I like look down upon, because that's a different guild, different school of magic. But we can try some of that to protect ourselves against ghosts. But we go in, nab the book, and maybe try and find the sword if they kept the sword there. But if not, the book might tell us where the sword is. And
And I would really like to fight a ghost. Again, I want to take 2. I did it before. I did it once. I'll do it again.
You don't know if the
tell
book
me
is
about
there.
This. How
They're not there though. That's kind of the problem.
What was that too?
We don't know if the book. We the only time we know the book is there is when they're there. We don't know if it's there when they're not. So we might go through all this effort and then get there, no book, and then if they know someone snuck in, they're gonna be like, "Well, who snuck in? Probably the new guy." And then,
But you didn't sneak in. We also have snuck.
And it's so easy to join. You might not be the new guy anymore. They could have had like 4 or 5 new people.
this is true.
You're so
this is true.
nice.
I think breaking in is good either way. We'll find something. We'll learn something either way. Even if we don't find the book, we learn about.
We've also got the kids looking up some of the people involved in the cult,
Oh,
including your mate, and he points at Ortlieb, your singing buddy, that you little sing song thing. He's
Van Dyke.
Guy.
Yeah, murderous
No.
motherfucker, if you've asked me, right? And your mate, you hanging out with cult members and not this one or that one.
I mean, I could ask Wolfgang and if we could talk to Max more, and I could just break into the fortress of his mind.
You could. I mean, we just ask? I mean, there's so many people who are in this cult. Like,
yeah, who's not in the cult? That's the question we have to ask.
I'm not.
I mean, you're in the cult too.
You're in the cult now. Yeah.
Okay. So we should pick one plan of action tomorrow.
Yeah.
Are we going to break in, or are we going to interview my sub's brother, or are we going to wait until we get information from Gorian's new larcenous friends?
I think if we were to do some information gathering in terms of like who's in the cult, because that might tell us who has the book.
Yeah.
Right. Like if there's like a book bearer or some kind of ceremonial position.
How often do they have meetings? Is it like a once a week thing? Like how often? I can't imagine wanting to catch up with my cult more than once a week, honestly. Like
Riha, who's been sat back this whole time, just like doing the conversational tennis and getting slowly swifty as the night goes on. She says, well, I mean, in my case, I received the summons whenever. I assume that's how it works here.
Was it ever more than once a week?
I mean, there was that one time when I did have to do 3 assassinations in 1 week. That was quite a lot. And I did tell them never again, or they pay me more. But no, it was never that often. It was maybe once a week.
Probably not going to meet again. So
Twice
it
a
might be
month.
good time for us to break in.
But Two's got an idea. All right, Two's got an idea. If we'll sit down and we'll hear it, Two has an idea. We've got this celebration coming up where there's going to be jousting and shit going on. The harvest thing's coming.
oh my gosh.
Some of the people involved in this cult, look, if you're a street busker, that is prime time. You're going to be there doing your thing, making your money. The person who, if I had to guess, was the book bearer, is a noble Lord S lady who will turn up and be probably having to be there. So there's something going on which will distract a lot of the members. If we're going to sneak in, that's the time we do it. Or if, even better, if we find out who the book bearer is, then we sneak into their whare and we try and get it from their place or whatever. That gives
when is this tournament?
Like 3 days away, I think.
Oh,
the kids
so
said.
we can spend the next 3 days getting more information.
Yes.
I will talk and break into the fortress of the intellect of the lumberjack. He's quite strapping, actually. And then you can talk to your thievy friends, Gorian, and Ortlieb can make more sausage.
I have so much paperwork to fill out. You have no idea. I don't have a permit for this event yet. And I'm going to try to figure out what I can do. And maybe I can do something strategically close to somebody else.
You can infiltrate the bureaucracy and learn about this lady that Two mentioned.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll keep my eyes open and we might even see it. Who knows?
Well, that sounds so exciting.
That's a plan.
Yes.
Fariha, are you pleased with this course of action?
She kind of zoned out for a bit while you were applying. She goes, it's better than anything I could have come up with.
Have this sausage.
Thank you.
I think it's time to tuck Ortlieb and Tariq in.
Okay. That sounds
I'm like, okay, I will go sleep, but let me tell you about my fun evening with Wolfgang.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm assuming that's
End of the night, I guess. Yeah.
the end of the night. Yeah, I don't know. Like, they've got 2 of our names. They got the blood. Like, I think Garion's, he's first off, he's the only one not drinking, apparently.
I have rolled
tonight.
2 on every single arcane recovery check I have rolled in this game. It is so annoying.
Oh, is that not good?
2
That's
of 6.
3 points I get back. Every single, I rolled 3 2s. Ugh.
I think Garion's gonna stay up for a while.
Yeah, and it's also possibly worth wherever 2 is not being the same place that Tariq is, because the cult knows Tariq is trying to stop them. You don't want the cult to know that 2 is hanging out with the guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it might be worth, like, 2. Fuck, I could probably sleep on the street nearby, but, like, you know, he doesn't mind sleeping under the stars. Fuck, it's no different to back home. But, you know, I'm just thinking it might be worth us maybe habitating in different places, but then that then generates the problem that if something happens at one group, there, how do we get, you know?
Yeah.
Badly. The answer is badly.
Yeah.
Also, just so you know how my telepathy spell like read surface thoughts. I also have a truth spell. So if we want like a more full answer, it has to be yes or no.
Okay.
But not just a surface thought. I can, like, that's not breaking into the fortress of their mind. That's breaking down the walls of the fortress of their mind. So
Very good. Very
that's
good.
useful if we need to get info and stuff.
Yeah. So
Cool.
2 is gonna sleep somewhere else nearby. Outside.
Maybe, yeah. If
Is
I could
Fariha
find...
sleeping in this house? Because you could go with Fariha if not.
She actually says, too, actually, if you're an initiate and I'm a member that they hopefully don't know has gone rogue just yet, us hanging out together might not be the worst idea.
Oh.
That works for me. I trust this lady. She can't possibly be a plant that will murder me in my sleep. Let's go.
Would I ever use such a cheap storytelling hook?
Lol, I love it.
Right.
And also, one thing, as I finished my story, like, to Gorion, I'm like, oh yeah, and then he did this thing with this, like, leather thing, but I'm like, and then I just, because I'm tipsy, I suddenly changed top. I'm like, whatever happened to Gemma?
She disappeared, remember?
Yeah, that's somewhat
wasn't at the cult meeting.
suspicious.
Yeah. I assume she got taken by them.
Huh. Anyway, so then I took this, like, goat horn, and...
Right, the goat horn. Yeah, sure.
That old classic.
Classic
so
Tariq.
Once Tariq has been tucked in and Gorion has managed to get himself out of there, much like trying to put a toddler to bed and you're trying to, like...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm like, wasted.
Right. Just have to turn out the light, tuck him in, and leave.
Yeah. You just have to say, I'm not talking anymore. Good night.
I'm not talking.
I had to say at 3 a.m.
Good. I'm speaking to you into the media, right? I'm like, okay, good night, brother. I'll tell you tomorrow about the ram horn.
I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait. Snuff out the light.
What is Gorion up to then?
Ryan's gonna stay up for a while. I mean, he's a late sleeper anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably the last of everybody to wake up, whenever they're out camping or something.
Mm-hmm.
So he's used to staying up late. And I think he's just gonna get a feel for the house, maybe walk around outside occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, like, they're knowledge cultists. They probably know way more than we're thinking. So that's sort of where Garion's head's at. Like, they've gotten to where we sleep before. So it probably would happen again.
as you're sort of pacing around and you're walking the perimeter of the little house, you can hear that even though it is really late at night, the hustle and the bustle of the city is not really stopped, because this is, at the night time when there's no pedestrians around. This is when, deliveries of ale get brought to the various inns. And this is because of the tournament that's happening very soon. You can hear the wagons pulling all the stands and stuff that are being erected for the tourney grounds, which are coincidentally not that far away from where you're staying.
Nice.
And you can see like carriages coming in that are transporting people from out of town. And one catches your eye in particular, as it is incredibly ornate, and it's got big sort of Eastern designs on it. It's not like your typical Havanan carriage. It's got a little bit more to it. It's a little bit more ostentatious too. And the horses that are pulling it are clearly not the kind of horses you would expect for this area. Like you expect the big work horses, and these are more like Arabian sand horses that are pulling this carriage.
It's heading into the city.
It's heading into the city, and it's heading towards like the finer bit of town, like where the nobility have their houses, where there is a palace that is not occupied, as there is a prince, but he does not take up residence in Havana.
Yeah.
But this is where you would expect, if there's any sort of top tier guests here for the tourney, that's where they're gonna go. And this carriage does have like an entourage too of armed guards riding with it.
Okay. I don't necessarily want to leave, but he will, and he's going to follow the carriage. Like if it's from any of the eastern provinces or other neighboring countries, then it could very well be from Zorgon or somewhere nearby. He wants to, keep a distance back, because they have, so none of these soldiers get suspicious, but he'll follow it and at least see where they end up.
Yeah, okay. Hit me up with a, what do we got?
Let's see.
Are you're trying to be like low key following it, right? You're trying not to be obvious.
There's a lot of people moving about the city,
it's
right?
It's true.
Yeah.
How about streetwise then? So you can, you're navigating what you know of the streets, and you're navigating your way through people to follow this carriage.
Here we go. So that's sagacity, intuition, charisma. Oof, I got a 2 for it. So let's see. What we got. Ooh, all right. So
how'd you do?
4, 8, 19. I think the 19 is going to get me, because that's for charisma, and he is not particularly charismatic. So, yeah, the charisma gets him. He doesn't have the points to bring it down to 10.
Dang.
So that's fail.
Okay, so you managed to follow this carriage for a good chunk around the city that you're familiar with, the areas you are. But once they start to head out towards this palace, you kind of lose them a little bit on the way. But I will say that as you are following this this carriage and this entourage, you do get to see they're carrying like small round shields on the backs, on the soldiers' backs, and you can see that there is the symbol of the city-state of Zargon, which you would be familiar with. Zorgan, sorry.
Zorgan, yeah. Okay. You're here for something big. All right. He'll take that and head back to the townhome.
All right.
Is this the same night?
This is the same night.
This is the same night. Yeah, he's staying up.
Grind didn't go to bed at the same time as everyone else. Okay, so Fariha and 2, you find like a small like a B&B, basically a bed and breakfast that's nearby, but is not immediately super close. And Fariha, she just sorts out rooms for you. Like she's just like, oh yeah, 2 head up, I'll sort it. And even though as a player you will be screaming, this is the night, the GM's gonna get me, no, you have a lovely restful sleep. But the night passes without incident for all of you. It is a bright early morning, and you can start hearing around town now that it's much busier now. The town is fully alive, and you can hear like heraldry trumpets going off every freaking 5 minutes as a new person arrives into town. And you can see like these just entourages of people are coming in, like from anything from like hedge knights to just a peasant with a big sword that's trying his luck. You know, you can see camp followers are coming in. Like the town is heaving with people today.
Nice. It's actually very exciting.
Very exciting.
Tarek is really excited. And he's buying a lot of other street food.
Ortlieb was up at the crack of dawn, and he makes sure that he has all of his documents in place.
Mm-hmm.
He has hired one of the movers to do some inventory for him, so he makes sure that he knows exactly what he has. And he is going to, if Tu wants to, actually he doesn't know where Tu is, so he can't tell Tu where he is. But I suppose maybe we agreed to sort of meet up in the municipal district, because I want to get a booth at this tournament.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I want to find out the skinny on how this place works and who the movers and shakers are in the community.
Oh my god, so I decided last night in my like tell-all to my kinsman, my countryman, Gorion, in my drunkenness, I realized, like Tarek realized, that he actually sort of fancies Wolfgang and not just like someone to hook up with. So Tarek is gonna shyly in the morning go to the smithy and ask Wolfgang if he would like to go on like a date to this like tournament thing, because of all the stuff happening all these days, right? Not the day obviously that we're doing our plan, but if he wants to like go, look at the booths together or like play some of the like street games together, like he's not normally shy about this, but he's feeling like kind of shy. Now he like fancies this guy, so he's like,
Yeah, like Wolfgang initially is like a little bit not as warm as he had been previous days, because that last encounter you had was a little more intense. But
and he had a big fight with his brother after that.
He had a huge fight with his brother, and you have to kind of convince him a little bit to like take the day off.
I take him a
bring
cold
him
sausage.
A delicious cold sausage, and you manage to bring him around after a little bit. He's still a little bit like, I'd rather be at the forge. But after you take him around a couple of stalls and you like play a couple of street games, there's like a quoit toss and stuff like that. He loosens up.
I'm really bad at the physical stuff. But like the one where it's like, guess where the thing is, I just like break into the fortress of the intellect of the person and I totally win.
You actually uncover that the guy running that the guess where the thing is cheating. With
nice.
sleight of hand, you don't see the sleight of hand, but you can hear him in his mind basically like going, "Ha, you suckers." You figure out that he's like flicking the pebble away, so that it's not under any of them.
Love it. So my response is, oh my god, wait, I'm gonna think outside the box. It's under none of them.
And the guy's like, whoa, hang on a minute. No. And he's trying to save face because there's city guards around that are like paying a lot of attention to this guy because he's taken a lot of people's money today.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, you got it, look.
And I'm like, yeah. So I don't make a scene about cheating. I'm just like, oh yeah, I win, yay. And so I like won. And I also wasn't like here's 10,000 gold pieces. It was like, whatever, a few pennies, right?
Yeah.
And I use that penny and buy, what's the ice cream equivalent? Like sweet, milky thing.
I reckon they've got like, when they do, they get one of those like cold stones and then they pour milk and cream on and do the things with a knife to
with
chop
like
it.
blocks of ice that they've carted or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I buy, and using that winnings, I buy like this milky ice cream. And since a lot of them are coming from the east, maybe it has saffron in it. That's not a spice from this
saffron
region.
And rose, I think.
Yes, yeah. So I'm like, oh, we have this back home, and so I buy it for him. And there's a cute bit where he gets on his nose, and I like lick it off his nose.
And yeah, he's having like by that point, he's having a great time.
Char and Viswas turning dark eye into romantic comedy.
Here for it. And he after a little while, he's like, I want to say sorry for what happened the other day, with my brother. It's really awkward. And
oh, it's not your fault. It's okay. I've had more people watch me do things like that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but I mean, it was my brother. So I was like,
true. I've never had my brother watch me do that. I don't know what that feels like. I haven't seen
not,
my brother.
it's not great, honestly.
I haven't seen my brother in 15 years. So.
Oh
yeah.
I'm
When
sorry.
you're in guild training, you're not allowed to go back to your family until you're done guild training.
Oh, that's awful. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I actually don't remember what my dad looks like.
He kind of gives you that look like, Jesus Christ, like he doesn't know how to react to it.
I mean, I will remember once I graduate and they give me the memories back, but like right now, I don't.
And like, there is just no words that he can say because that is the wildest, most horrible shit he can think of. And you're saying it so casually as if it's totally okay. With a huge smile.
I grew up in Fazar, right? I was very young in the farm, so I basically grew up in Fazar. So I just shrug. I'm like, whatever, it's part of joining the guild. Here, let's play this game.
He's like, okay. When I joined the blacksmithing guild, I didn't have to lose anything.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't know. You gave up your time to have these like really sexy muscles. I don't have sexy muscles.
I did lose a couple of pounds.
And I like stroke his muscles admiringly.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, he's never going to miss an opportunity to flex because never not flex.
And as we're like doing stuff, I do want to say like later on, not in that same conversation, mm-hmm. I'll be like, I worry that your brother is involved in something that could be dangerous.
How do you mean?
Like that cult, like I've encountered them in my studies, and I know there's that the religious group he's joined, they do some shady stuff. And I don't just mean, like the like street urchins who never come around me for some reason. But anyway, who like steal stuff. I think they do like shady stuff.
No, not Max. No, he'd never be involved with anything like that.
He might not know that they do shady stuff. That's why I'm concerned. I'm sure your brother is like, he's your brother. He's obviously awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we all grew up right here. We all follow the 12, and we all get to pick different ones when we turn 12. You pick your prime devoted, but like,
oh, fascinating. How quaint.
What, you don't do that?
I mean, in the guild, we kind of pay homage to Hasinde, but I mean, it's different in the guild. Also, the Tulamidia worship practices are, Mahandistani worship practices are different, I have noticed here. The temples are very different.
Huh. Weird. Yeah, but I mean, like, the 12's the 12, wherever you are, right? They're all...
Well, actually, and I start going into like schismatic cults do exist, and I like start like talking about it, and then I notice if he starts glazing over, I like immediately stop, and I'm like, let's get some more food.
Yeah, let's see some more. But I mean, it's really sweet. I think that you're worried about Max, but it's nothing, And he's trying to be the like. So then I'm like, I don't want to think about my brother right now. I'm on a date.
Well, I want to sound like, you know what? I think he might hate me right now because I did have you tied up and bruised and bleeding. So I would like to take him out for a meal and just clear the air.
Yeah, I mean, if he can ever look either of us in the eye again, I think, we can.
A lot of people don't like looking in the eye. I wonder why.
Well, I mean, I don't mind it.
You have really nice eyes. We say at the same time.
Yeah. It says here, you got really lovely eyes. But, when you kind of see your brother tied up in a chair butt-ass naked and then his lover's there also, it's kind of an embarrassment thing. And Max is like a really shy guy.
Oh, well, I'm very good at breaking through shy guys. Yes. So I will take him out. I will buy him perfume. The way to a man's heart is through perfume. Like your perfume is what initially attracted me, right? And then of course the like scintillating conversation and like glistening is the word, glistening musculature. But yeah, why don't I take him out tonight for dinner, wherever he'd like to go, and I will chat with him, and I will get to know your brother more, and it will be lovely.
I mean, all right, it's worth a shot, isn't it? Like...
Good. There's a kissing booth. Let's go there.
Okay, so you and Wolfgang head off to the kissing booth. Meanwhile, what is Ortlieb up to?
Ortlieb is waiting around in the municipal district looking for two. But he's there up at the crack of dawn. I'm hoping that two would be as well. I've got my papers. This is a great day for Ortlieb. He loves doing this
Bureaucracy
kind of crap.
Hell yeah. So the estate agent from which you would purchase his property is not currently open. It is too early. You are up at the crack of dawn, as you did say. However, what are you up to? Did you get up early, or are you?
Yeah. I'm on my way to go hang out with Buddy Ortlieb. Yeah.
So you see Ortlieb sat there with like his little fantasy briefcase with his papers in his lap.
I'm singing a song about how much fun it is to register for things.
Oh, what fun it is to sign.
Yeah.
See, and where two comes from, this kind of bureaucracy doesn't exist. So he assumes it's some strange religious practice that Ortlieb partakes in.
Ortlieb does not disabuse him of this notion. To him, that's exactly what it is.
So yeah, he'd rock up and go, Atamaria, holla. Did you sleep well?
No, I was so excited I couldn't. I was beside myself. I really couldn't. You know, I feel I have a bit of a headache. Tariq and we invented a game last night. I don't remember if I told you about it, but we did.
We can't remember any of the rules anymore.
Yeah, it's just he says things and I laughed and then I would drink, and it was great. But no, I'm here. We are waiting to register to get a booth at the festival. It's going to be so much fun. Yes, and I thought if I was here, I could inquire about the local governmental structures. I would very much like to be on the business bureau if I can. I want to find out. I figured I could find out who all of the important figures are who may or may not be targets later.
Good. We're looking for a dusky-skinned woman. I'll point her out when we find her.
Okay.
Cool. And he sits
you
down.
could also learn who came into town in that carriage.
You don't know about the carriage. Well, I don't.
Oh, right.
No, I don't know about it either. I was sleeping, trying to, anticipating. And I will, as I do this, I'm going to point out, I'm going to show to all of my plans for promotions for this thing. And like, I'm going to offload this stuff and I'm going to declare tax-free days for this, because I know that you can do that in this province. And I'm going to show you my whole business plan that I got up extra early to make for this whole thing.
To Fane's exceptional interest.
Yes.
Oh, getting a buddy like two, dang.
I know. Be great. And I'll also
all this like this. He doesn't get any of it, but he's like,
yes. Yeah, talking to you at length about my margins.
Do you exceptionally feign interest, or do you feign exceptional interest?
Exceptional interest. Yeah.
Okay.
Any idea what any of it is.
So just as Ortlieb is just showing to that final piece of paper with all that nonsense scribbled on it, that two is fascinated to hear about. It's not understood a fucking word. You can see the estate agent / lawyer who had spoken to you the previous day before, like walking in. They've got a little croissant, a little fancy cup of coffee as they're unlocking their office door.
I will walk straight up, be super happy, and I'll leave two in the dust because Ortlieb's eyes are twinkling like he's got like happy anime eyes. So happy. And he's going to walk right up and say hello to this person.
Good morning, Mr. Ortlieb. Pleasure to see you again. Can I help you? You seem interested in something.
I would like a booth. I would like your best booth at the tournament, please. I know I'm probably late for submitting my paperwork here, but I'm hoping that, given that I'm new in town, I will be forgiven for this trespass. And
it's not a trespass. It's not a trespass. I mean, you are correct. You are a little late in submitting your registration. However, with the sale of the house that went through perfectly, wonderfully, we got the money. It was fantastic. Thank you so much again.
Yes, I paid you with money. Yes, I gave it to you. I paid you in cash.
Yes, you paid in cash, and this big fantasy bag of cash.
Yes, he has one of those.
What I can do is we can go speak to the magistrate today. I don't have any clients.
Okay.
If you wish.
Yeah, can you tell me who is the magistrate?
The magistrate is a wonderful woman by the name of hang on. Susie completely blanked on the name.
Hang on, that's her name.
Hang on.
Herr Bruja, like in Young Frankenstein.
Yes.
Herr Bruja, right? That's her name, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not
Yes.
Herr, Frau. Oh. My Germans, I don't know any, so.
Oh. Her name is Nadia.
Nadia?
Nadia. Oh, sorry, I call her Nadia. She does have a title, magistrate. But yes, my good friend Nadia. And you can tell, like, there's the putting on the salesperson, like, you know, to do the whole my good friend the president kind of thing, you know.
Oh, you could. I'm so glad that I have a friend who's going to introduce me to the magistrate. I have a friend too. I'll gesture for two to come over.
Kia ora.
Oh, hello. Are you here to also register for a booth, sir?
With him.
I see. Just out of interest, what is this booth going to be selling?
Oh, well, and then he launches into a whole thing. He gives him a leaflet that he'd already had. He always has one of these at all times. It's a little brochure. It's a little threefold thing. And just showing what his current stores are and kind of what he does is primarily spices, but many other things. And if it is possible to get something that has a brazier, and considering that it is, you know, close to like the boxes, like the nobility boxes, because that's what he's really trying to like access. He's like high-end clientele. Then he'll do some like hot food offerings as well. Sausages. I can do sausages. I can do a number of other things as well.
I'm imagining now like a currywurst, because we're talking about spices and sausage and playing German game. I'm totally imagining a currywurst.
Yes, a currywurst. Like a deep fried kind of like currywurst like thing, like a corn dog type thing.
I love it.
Why is this so close to dinner time? It's making me so hungry.
I'm actually very hungry right now.
Yeah, I'm starving. And yeah, so he has samples of what he would do there. He's giving his whole business pitch, and he's hoping if Ortlieb gets it, like he hopes to give this pitch at least 4 times today. I'm very excited.
Excellent.
Yes.
And this particular person, this lady, is completely enraptured in what you're saying. This is like, what you're saying is like lawyer porn. And she is just like, and she's like hanging on Ortlieb's everywhere too. You've never seen anything like it. Like they are talking absolute bollocks, but both of them are vibing and having a great time. And she seems very excited to come and introduce you to the magistrate. She's like, give me about an hour. I just need to settle things in the office first. Make sure everything's settled in. And then is there somewhere I can come get you, or come to my office and I'll take you to the magistrate?
Oh, I'll come to your office right away.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, I'll see you in an hour.
Okay. Ortlieb clicks his heels as she turns around. This is his own version of romance. Yes.
business romance.
Okay, so while Tu and Ortlieb walk away, is there anything you guys want to talk about in that meantime?
Tu just wants to meet this magistrate lady. He's
Okay.
like, fancy word, lady. This is lead number 1. Here we go. Here we
Yes.
go.
All right. So we will now pan to Gorion. It is the morning after. Tariq is out with his blacksmith and Ortlieb, and Tu are also out.
Yeah. Grind sleeps in. He was up late on a good day. He sleeps in. Somebody has to come get him up. But on a day where he stays up for half the night, he wakes up way late. Finds some leftovers. Meant to tell them about the carriage. And I think that with no one else home, he's going to head out into the city. He knows that probably Ortlieb will be around the town hall or the magistrate's office. And he could probably find Tariq at the blacksmith's, or at the very least, the blacksmith will know where Tariq's at. I think Gorion goes and sees if he can't retrace his steps from last night, maybe where he lost the carriage, and see if he can find something like it during the day.
Okay, so hit me up with another streetwise. So you're trying to, remember the turns you took in the night. Should we give a penalty to this because it's like nighttime when you did it?
Oh yeah, but
first
you have
time?
night blindness.
He does have night blindness, although that was let's see.
I'll give it a modifier. We're gonna make this a difficult check with a -2.
Okay. Yeah, his night blind just like it raises the level of visibility penalties for when he's okay. So this is difficult. All right, here we go. Where's mine? Oh yeah, this is streetwise. Come on. No, not with with a penalty of 2. That's even more, and I'd need 12 points alone to sink that 19 and below my sagacity. Yeah, he wanders around some more. He's like, they all look. All these cities look the same to me.
Yeah, you're wandering around, and I mean, in the meantime, a lot more people have arrived too. So you're seeing a lot like more color and like all these sort of new symbols and sigils are just everywhere now because every man and his dog has brought their own freaking heraldry. You're trying to be like, which was it? Was it a palace with a moon, or was it the sun? Is it an eagle, a falcon, a crown? Like like they're freaking everywhere. Like that guy's carrying a turtle around as his sigil. What? Like,
yeah, I'd never heard of this tournament before. It seems like everybody else has.
Yeah. And
okay.
you kind of get the impression this is a major event.
Yeah, I mean, if they're coming from far away now, Gorion has nothing in like geography or anything like that. I'm assuming he just recognizes the big names, not necessarily where they're from, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like in the real world, right? You don't know every tiny town, but like this person this is a big deal. Like this is a
I mean, it's always interesting to think about in like if you're in medieval town, you don't have access to education a lot. You might not even know certain countries. You're like, what is this place I've never heard of?
You've never heard of it. Yeah. Right. So I think Gorion's going to go see if these urchins are good for their word and ask them about this carriage that came in last night, if they see anything about it.
Okay, yeah. So you do the intricate whistle, which summons an orphan child, a street urchin.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing it, Jim.
Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah.
And you met with a small girl who, she wouldn't look out of place in Les Mis. She probably did audition for Aventuria and Gavroche at one point. And she doffs her little orphan cap at you. She's what is it, sir? What can I be with?
I'm curious if anyone has seen or knows about a carriage that came in late last night with Zorganese heraldry.
Zorganese? What's
Yeah,
that?
from way back east in Arania.
Oh, all right. Do you know what it looks like? I can describe it because I'm not too good with names, sir.
Yeah, he gives his best description here. I actually can find the heraldry, but he gives, looks like a castle, maybe a palace.
Looks like this. There.
Right there it is.
With the moon on it.
With the moon on it, yeah, the green and gold and the silver. It looks like a palace, two thin towers, dome, and then over that a crescent moon laying on its side. Golden green, silver.
She notes it down in her head, and she's like, yeah. Stay right there. I'll be right back. And then she dashes off somewhere, and she comes back remarkably quickly, actually. And she's out of breath. She's like, okay, I found out who it was.
Okay.
It's the Maharani herself.
Oh.
And her husband, they're here for the tournament.
So I got really excited when you said Maharani.
Maharani herself, right? Her husband.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, they're here for the tournament, I think.
I think Gorion is kind of stunned, like, wow, must be important. Are they here for he's trying to reconcile what he's just like, this is royalty, right? Like, this is the Empress of Arania as far as she's here. I've never heard of this tournament before. Like, he's really trying to work out whether she's here for the tournament or here for the cult.
It could be, she could be for the tournament and the cult is trying to,
yeah, that's the other. That's true as well.
Her or feed her to the snake or something.
Yeah. Okay. Gosh.
And this kid stood there like, is there anything else?
How easy do you think it'd be or rather, how difficult do you think it'd be to get into where she's staying?
Extremely fucking difficult. Oh, sorry, very hard.
Okay. Any entrances or connections from the sewers that you know of? Catacombs?
Probably, but we're not allowed in there.
What do you mean not allowed?
It's haunted.
Do they keep it locked?
Well, no. I mean, like, legally, we're probably allowed in there, but, well, we're probably not, because the guards probably don't want criminals running around in the sewers, but we're not allowed from the boss man. I
see. Well, it's probably best that you don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get eaten by a ghost, because I've heard they do things to you.
Yeah, I've never seen a ghost. I have a friend who claims they've seen a couple. All right. Thank you. And, Brian assumes that this is just part of the arrangement.
Yeah. And the kid, for a second, you can see like her brain going, do I be a cheeky little shit and ask for a couple of coins? And then she looks at Gorion and then she like runs off again. She thinks that twice.
All right. He's going to go looking for Tariq.
Okay. So Gorion wanders off to find Tariq. I mean, you can stop in at the blacksmith and he's like, oh yeah, I took Wolfgang out. And he's grumbling. The blacksmith is grumbling under his breath, being like, Wolfgang's not doing any bloody work recently, too obsessed with his blood. Kids today.
But he obviously won't talk to him about it, because if you're dating a black mage, you don't want to tell someone, don't date that black mage.
But
Tariq's great. What do you have?
He smells really good.
Right.
Meanwhile, Ortlieb and Tu, you met this lovely lady back at her office an hour later, and she takes you through to the magistrate's court. This is around where the major governance of Havana happens. They've got like a big fancy town hall with like symbols everywhere. It's got like the crown and the royal blue with the silver everywhere. There's very busy looking people coming in and out, carrying all sorts of documents. And you meet with the secretary of the magistrate, and she has you sit down, and you're waiting for what feels like an eternity, because even in Fantasyland, bureaucracy does not move quickly. And you know, you're sat in like a really stuffy room, like it's really dark oak paneling everywhere. There is a very nice fire to keep things warm. And, you know, there's like legal tomes on each wall. And after, again, what feels like an eternity, you are beckoned into the magistrate's office. And this is a super like ostentatious room, like the big leather chair, like the whole like I am important fantasy office, right? With big window. There's like the scroll on the desk with a big fancy quill on it. And stood behind her seat with her hands resting gently on the back of it is the woman you recognize too. And she meets your face, and there's a hint of a smile that tugs at the corner of her lips as she recognizes you. And I think you have that moment, right? Of the mutual sort of like,
Nice.
I know you. I'm not going to acknowledge that I know you, but I know you.
I know you. And she smiles warmly, but never quite meets her eyes. It's that very official sort of warm, fake warm personality that politicians have. And she says, good morning, friends. Please do take a seat, and gestures to the chairs in front of you. And I think as you are offered these seats, that is a great place for us to call it for today.
Nice.
So I can give Nadia a surname because my brain just did not work at all. But thank you all so much once again for joining us for WebDM Plays The Dark Eye Adventures in Aventuria. Before, again, we say a good night, we'll go around our cast and crew and tell everyone where you can find us and what we're up to at the minute. As always, I will go clockwise to the lovely Liam. How are you doing today?
I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. That was good fun. I think I enjoyed getting to explore the cheeky side of two. I think he's not always scary. He can have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise that was great. I'm quite enjoying this. I'm curious to hear what the long time Dark Eye fans are thinking of our shenanigans. But yeah, no doubt Grant will find out and let us know. As for me, go check me out at toatabletop.com with my blog, which I'm supposed to update any day now for the last month and haven't got around to it. It's going to happen. And otherwise, Twitter and stuff, links are below, and Mud and Bloodcast. But check out all these other people because they're dope and they're awesome and they're amazing, and this is good fun.
Well, thank you so much, Liam. And it's been great seeing Two's other side today. He was fantastic. It was a ton of fun. Emma.
Yes. I had yet another day of high fantasy for me where I got drunk and then prepared a business plan. It's very exciting for me because I am the businessy person for WebDM. That is what I do. You can see me on my Twitter where I don't tweet very often anymore because I'm busy and tired. And occasionally I will tweet about how I'm busy and tired. So check that out if you want to. Or check out everything else that WebDM does. We have another live play going on right now on Tuesdays, which you surely know about by now. We have a brand new Patreon to help benefit the people who help us make the show come live. So check it out. We've got a lot of bonuses for people there. And Grant is doing a fantastic job helping us produce all that. And check out if you need advice on how to play RPGs. That's kind of our thing. I hope by now you'd know that because you know what WebDM is. So if you don't, check it out. Yeah, I hate this part. Please cut out the part where I say I hate this part, Grant.
And okay, sharing.
I, on the other hand, am very good at talking about myself. So you can cut that out too, or keep it. I don't know. So my name is Sharang Biswas. I'm a game designer, writer, and artist. You may have seen me recently on Indiecade, where Honey and Hot Wax, an anthology of erotic art games, was nominated for a special category of live action games, and also every other category, because that's how Indiecade works. We did not win, but I think we put on a good show, and some awesome games won, to do check those out. But when this is released, we will be in the Kickstarter for Strange Lusts, Strange Loves, an anthology of erotic interactive fiction. Do check that out. We have some awesome writers on the project. We have some amazing stretch goal writers, some of whom you may recognize from the gaming world, some of you who you may recognize from the fiction world. And it's really exciting. We're going to make, interactive fiction themed around diverse perspectives on sexuality. And that's going to be very cool. So yeah. And last thing, if you watch streamed games like this one, I'm on the writing team for Into the Motherlands, which is Tanya DePass's really cool anti-colonial Afro-futurist sci-fi show that they're making, as well as a whole game setting based on the Cortex Prime system. I'm one of the writers there, so do check that out. Support marginalized people making art, because that helps us make more art and supports us. So check that out, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Jim.
Yes. Wow. I am Jim Davis of WebDM. As Emma mentioned, you can find us all over the place: YouTube, your favorite podcast app, and obviously here on Twitch. I love talking. I love talking about RPGs, and hopefully you can get more than your fill from any of those places. But if you haven't, I am also on Eric Vulgaris's Monday night Pendragon game. We're a year. That's a real life year into the Great Pendragon campaign. Our characters have made it 16 years.
That's an achievement.
I know, right? Like, we're in it for, it's going to easily take us 3 years, I think, to play through everything. And it's amazing. I love it. It's great. You should check it out.
Thank you very much. As for me, I'm Susie, otherwise known as Susanna Grace, a variety streamer who does video games. I do art streams. I do tabletop RPGs. You can find me all over the internet at Susanna Grace. And when I'm not doing that, I am the media and marketing coordinator of Black Hats Gaming. Follow Black Hats is their Twitter. We have just released the Spy Game, which is a 5e powered game of international espionage and action. And that is on Drive-Thru RPG right now. So please do check it out if that sounds like it's your thing. But that is it from us for tonight. Thank you all again so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.